All right, this is your market recap for July 2nd, 2025. Today we played bullish, reacting off of the sweep of yesterday's daily low, which also tapped us back into this daily fair value gap right there. If we go down to the hourly time frame, it's kind of a mess here because NQ and ES are entirely uncorrelated at the moment. Today was one of the first days actually in a while that my daily bias was wrong, and I'll go over my thought process for why I thought we were playing bearish. But first, I'm going to tell you why I think we were playing bullish. So if we start at the beginning here, if you go along, just tracking price, the first SMT that appears is this one of these lows, right? So this SMT pushes us up. And then we get an SMT of these highs, which then pushes us down. So in my mind, SMT of lows pushes us up, SMT of highs, then erases this SMT, pushing us down, and then we got another SMT of this low. This was that old daily low. And then this is that fair value gap low that I mentioned, which is another SMT, which then forces us back up. Right? So first, this SMT pushed us up, this SMT pushed us down, took out liquidity, this SMT pushed us all the way back up. Now, the reason I thought we were playing bearish today was because if you look on the daily time frame, we dipped into this fair value gap, right? Technically, this is the fair value gap, right? We dipped into it yesterday, reacted out of it, right? We came out of it. And then if we go down to the hourly time frame, so this right here is that dip into the fair value gap, and then we came back out of it. Next candle opened here. So we played bullish, reacting off of that daily time frame, fair value gap, and then I see us dip back into it. So in my mind, if we've already rejected off of a fair value gap, and we're going back into it, the only reason for that is because we're going to disrespect it. So with this sweep of liquidity, I thought we'd just come back up to equilibrium of this bearish move, so here, and then continue to play bearish, targeting this buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency low. But as you can see, that did not end up happening because of the SMTs. Now, in hindsight, of course, hourly time frame, this is not a convincing sweep for us to be continuing lower. Same on the 15-minute. We don't even close below it. Clearly just something to dip our toes, get that liquidity, create that SMT, and then be on our way. Something else that I didn't realize until recently, meaning like the past couple hours, is NQ made all-time highs on Monday. Technically Sunday, but Monday. ES never did. So this right here is a huge time frame SMT between the two for the time being. So that is another reason why I'm probably overly bearish, and a reason why ES is kind of in a state of doing nothing. But if we continue back down to the 15-minute time frame, we'll talk more about what happened today. So we took this liquidity, had that SMT, played bullish with the start, and then market opened, and we kind of just ripped. It's very, very cut and dry day. Didn't really present much. Opened, went all the way up, took out liquidity here, and then went horizontal for lunch, and PM session did absolutely nothing. So pretty simple. Now, this part is going to be fast because there's really not much. We have 5-minute sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency right there. Gets reacted off of here to the downside, taking out this low once again. With this SMT, we then shift upwards, retrace back to this 5-minute, up again, 5-minute market structure shift right there. We then come up, close outside of this validated fair value gap, and then we retrace back into it, and that pushes us even higher. We also have this 5-minute fair value gap up here. And then, like I mentioned, we didn't sweep it, right? This high is at 848.25. If we look at this candle's high, it is at 847.50. So it's close, but it didn't sweep it. But We didn't even sweep it there. No, we equal highs. So the reason why a lot of this didn't happen at all after this is because I believe this high and this high were the goal, and heading into NFP tomorrow, which is usually on a Friday, but it's on a Thursday, we have a condensed week because of a bank holiday on Friday. We just went horizontal from 11 to even now. We're not going anywhere. Now, I don't have a solid reason for this, but I do believe that it is because we have a 4-day week and because NFP is now on Thursday, meaning a little more inconsistency in the markets. Now, if we go down to the 1 minute, there's not a whole much more. So we can see once again, 5-minute fair value gap reaction downwards, liquidity sweep creates this SMT here. We then shift upwards, changing the state of delivery to the upside on the 1 minute, react off that 5-minute fair value gap. I was actually looking for us to play bullish pre-market because of my overall bearish bias. I needed to hit equilibrium of this bearish move. So I was looking to play bullish at the beginning. Saw this SMT, I said, I shouldn't enter before market open, should I? Just in case market just goes and then all the way up. It was the best trade that I looked at today. I'll put it that way. I ended up taking the short here after we swept this liquidity without closing above it, which is an SMT because ES was not going anywhere. So I thought there we were chipping over. I entered, and then it was actually a pretty bad trade. I should have, 1, waited for the macro, 2, seen that ES was not in a state to take a trade and held off. And 3, if I had a correct bias, I wouldn't have been looking at it anyways. So, more to learn. Took out this high, this high, retraced. Took out this high, retraced. This is back into this 5-minute inverse. Expand upwards once again. 1 minute fair value gap here during the macro has us chop right at constant encroachment. Don't go a single tick below it, I believe. Then we expand higher, taking out liquidity here, retracing to this 5-minute fair value gap, going up again, and this is where we kind of meet the end of the day. We stay within a 50 point range for 5-6 hours. Yep, not much really to say on that. There was no trade that I'd want to take in this condition. I was not looking to trade PM session because I saw how messy lunch was, and because I truly, after being confused this morning, just needed the afternoon to take a break. But I had the charts up and I was looking at them, and I saw this and I said, I'm very glad that I'm not actually looking to take a trade. So, yeah, kind of messy. Well, if you were right in your bias, today would have been a slow day, but it would have worked because you could have played this bullish, caught like 200 handles, would have been great. But if you were planning to take anything other than a trade within the first 30 minutes, yeah, good luck. There was no retraces after 10, and we just went horizontal for the afternoon. So going into the future, like I said, tomorrow is NFP, I believe. It's also the last day of the week. If we pull up the weekly candle, we took out this high. I do not think we're going to close above it, above this all-time highs. Actually, we may. We very well may. We opened the week bullish, bearish to hit this. Took out this low, played bullish. We still have this SMT of highs, which I think ES is trying to undo. That's the only reason I think we may see another bullish day tomorrow, because ES seems to have been trying to minimize its downside to take out that huge buy-side SMT. But I don't really know. There's no inverses. Could possibly get a reclaimed. Look, this 4-minute fair value gap validated down here, used as an inverse to take us below this low. We're now back above it, used it as a reclaimed bullish. So I do think we have a possibility of taking out these highs tomorrow. 4-hour fair value gap here might help us with that. I think we might start out taking out these relative equal lows before continuing to play bullish. But by any means, we are not going to have a strong day, I believe. And if we do, I'd be very surprised given it's a 4-day week, like I mentioned, NFP, like I mentioned, and just the current market conditions. So definitely going to be looking to not take a trade tomorrow at all, like no matter what. So yeah, it's been your market recap for July 2nd, 2025.